tuning in for another episode of Just Flow. I'm Allie.
I'm SJ.
And on our platform, we utilize this to document the self-love and self-evolution journey of the everyday people. We like to bring on our friends, families, associates, everything under the umbrella to just talk about their experience and how they're going about, taking care of their mental health and well-being during these really crazy times.
Yes.
And we just hope that you as a viewer take some gems from these conversations to, implement that in your own life.
Yes.
So thank you for tuning in.
Yes, thank you. And we missed you guys.
And we did miss you also. Right. Thank you. We took a break, but we're back.
New season, new beginnings.
New season. So, we're blossoming into bigger and better things. And we have a wonderful guest today. I'm so excited to speak to her, and you guys get to meet her.
Yes.
So whenever you're ready.
Are we ready?
I'm more than ready.
1, 2, 3. Aanchal, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Hey, Aanchal.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here.
We're honored to have you here. Please. To take time to speak to us and be in front of this camera. I know it's not the easiest thing to do. So
it's like lights, camera, microphone.
On the spot.
Production crew.
I know. So legit.
Yeah. You know how we do. So, Suju, would you like to touch on how our connection to Aanchal came about?
Yes. Aanchal, first of all, I want to add on to what Allie was saying. It's such a pleasure, and we're so grateful for your presence. How I met you, we met through college, and we go way back.
Way back.
Freshman year, we lived in same gender dorm,
yes.
Right? And I remember, well, I don't remember. I have a lot of memory forgets. But Aanchal was like, do you not remember this? Do you not remember this? And so we were dorm buddies, and I think we both had life things happen, and we had kind of a friendship break a little because of life situations.
Yeah, adulting, that happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then I don't know, Allison, it's just how sometimes friends come to your mind as you go through life, and I remember there was this one time, and I thought about you, and I just messaged you, and then we rekindled the friendship.
And that's how you know it was a real friendship. You could pick up where you left off.
Yeah, yes. I was so happy when I got that message, because I told her when we finally spoke that I'd also been thinking about her so many times. It's like
friendship romance.
Yeah, literally. I think it's when you're meant to be friends, you'll be friends no matter what. Yes, exactly.
That's already a gem you dropping. So what's meant to be will be.
Yes, exactly.
So, that's good. Yes. Well, I'm happy you guys rekindled that.
Because
if you didn't, we would not be here today.
Yeah.
And I met Aanchal through Suju, so that's how we all, how I got to know Aanchal.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's just been a great experience.
Likewise.
Yes. So thank you.
Before we start, I want to say something.
Yeah.
It was Sunju's birthday a couple days back.
Oh yeah.
So happy birthday to Sunju.
Happy birthday. How did I not think of it?
No worries. I just wanted to
No, it's because we're so getting ready for this.
Yeah. Big Taurus energy, Taurus season. So.
And the big 30.
Yes. Big 30 milestone. I mean, come on. This is the start of life, they say.
Yes.
Your 30s.
If this weekend was a preview of what your 30s is going to be, I think it sounds going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And I will say I'm so grateful for beautiful Allison, beautiful Aanchal to live life together.
Yes.
Because there was this post that was friends just, make you laugh more, make you dirt more, make you,
Yeah.
It's even when you're working, you're it's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make life better.
Yeah, exactly. So please give a birthday shout out to Sunju in the comments if you're watching on YouTube.
Thank you.
Shameless plug. Yeah.
So, Aanchal, we shared a lot of reminders about this, so aren't you for remembering? But in the spirit of Just Flow, we like to ask you like what you're into these days, especially like memes or like any social media posts that resonate with you, because I feel like, like just flow. Like, what are you into? So, Aanchal, we're gonna pass the ball to you.
Okay.
What are you feeling these days?
From like a meme perspective, just in general, or
No, your social media posts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything.
Yeah,
you share.
so-
yeah.
I don't know, been getting a lot of like posts on social media just about self-care and stuff like that, coincidentally anyways. And those always resonate with me because I just feel like there's just so much good information out there. And it can really resonate with you, in different ways. So there was one post that, at least for me when I saw it, I thought it was impactful. I have it on my phone, so I don't know if I should. Okay. So you guys
Because we can
see.
edit things out.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
So this is the post, which was on, I think, an Instagram post or a TikTok post.
Showing up daily. What we think it is all these full circles.
Yeah.
And what it actually means is another pictogram?
Yeah.
Of these circles, and the levels are different.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Yes.
I think we're very hard on ourselves, and once again, we'll post this on the visual aspect of the podcast, so you guys could see. But it definitely shows like
Just showing up,
Yeah.
And I feel like, at least for me, it's like you don't have to show up 100% every day. It's more consistency over perfection.
Twinkle, twinkle, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but really though, because I feel like we have this idea of what our day should be, but it's like you waking up.
Yeah. Like maybe you had 5 things on your list, but you do 2. That's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think for someone like me, at least, where I'm like, I have to like make sure I get everything done. Otherwise it's not a successful day. It was very eye-opening to see that, where it's like we need to sometimes cut ourselves some slack and just recognize that anything is a positive, like any accomplishment.
Yeah, and it's also like I feel like we're growing up and like being able to show up for other people in their lives. Not to say it gets difficult, but I know for me, I kind of beat myself up when I'm like talking to somebody in my life and they tell me about a time where they were struggling. I'm just like, dang, why? I like beat myself like, why? I knew I should have texted this person or did this or called them or want to ask to hang out. But also you got to remember, like, there's work, there's school, there's so much other stuff. So it's
You're
like,
doing the best you can.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You can't shame. I have to tell myself I can't feel guilty all the time because, we're all experiencing life.
Exactly.
And, you just never know what people are going through, but also you're going through stuff as well. So
Yes, that's such a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think especially as adults, it's just like you have to find that balance of taking care of others, but also taking care of yourself.
Yeah. Like, find that balance between pouring into yourself and pouring into the people in your life and outside of you.
Yeah.
No, really.
That's a great. I like
That's
that.
a really No, this is a perfect post for spring, summer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like have fun.
Exactly.
Yes.
Don't
Like
beat
live
yourself
life.
up. Talk about mine. You guys know I like to do silly ones.
Yes. I love
Always,
that.
down for a laugh. Okay, so this one comes in the form of a tweet from an account saying Taylor Rivers, and he says, until AI can tell me everyone who has ever had a crush on me, I'm not really interested. Because I hear all this talk about ChatGPT and all of this Google supercomputer that they had to shut down. I'm just like,
I saw this on her Insta story and I LOL'd out loud.
Because it was like, unless you can like confirm to me if that one dude from middle school actually liked me or not, I'm good. Like,
Otherwise it's useless.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I know I can do all of these amazing.
You're like AI who until this happens.
Wait,
You're like, okay, then I'm like, I believe you.
Like, if it's really that smart, pull up that list. Like, let's really test it here. So that's what I think about.
Like I
That's a
can't.
funny one.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny?
Yeah.
There's a Netflix show, Love Alarm, And it's like about an app where like if you downloaded the app
Yeah.
and I downloaded the app and we're in close proximity, it can say, oh, they like you.
Oh.
Wow.
That kind of reminds me of this one app that I can't say the name of.
Yeah.
But it's popular in a certain community. And it
Certain
doesn't-
community, I
do
can't.
you guys know what I'm alluding
Be
to?
real? No.
No, it's a dating app.
What?
But it's for a certain community.
What is certain community?
You know what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
But anyways, we're not gonna get into it.
What are you talking about?
We'll discuss it.
Yeah,
Pin
we'll
it for
discuss
later. Pin it for later.
Because that's literally the app. Like it tells you when the person's near you. So just think about Tinder, but like of next level.
Yeah. I think I saw someone like talk about that on TikTok once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Is it like a new app?
No.
Well, that's definitely those vibes. So, yeah.
That was a funny one.
Thank you. I like the ha ha.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So it's so funny because it's like emotional next to LOL. But so when I went to visit my childhood friends, shout out to Angel. I'm gonna call her Angel because that's her nickname.
Aw.
But I was on a car with her and she showed me this recording, Celine Dion. And I shared with you.
Yes.
And when she showed me this, like I got chills. That's what social media do to you. Like sometimes you just get chills, you know?
Yeah.
But it was like basically the artist sharing with us that you know, like someone asked her if you could give an advice to your 13-year-old self, what would you give? And she says, and I don't know exactly what she said in the social media post, but she talked about how like hold on to yourself, don't hold on to dreams, don't hold on to jobs, don't hold on to people. And that really gave me chills because even now it's an active effort for me to detach me to certain failures that you notice in a certain time in your life. So it's like whether it be an interaction with a friend or
Mm-hmm.
interaction with someone you have a crush on, or like you know,
Taking it back.
you know, like
Tie it in.
you know, or like you know, like you're so focused on building a certain passion of yours,
Yeah.
and then what if it's at that moment a failure?
Doesn't mean that you failed.
Exactly.
It was just a part of your
Exactly.
story. It's not the full picture.
Exactly.
You're not defined by it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then I feel like I'm gonna go this back to relationships at times, but it's like oftentimes, even myself in the past, when you get rejected or when you know someone is treating you a certain way, you're like, is it me?
Or is it? Yeah, go continue.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I had a conversation with a friend recently about that, and it's like most of the time, well, 100% of the time, like in these failed talking stages, it's not you, it's the other person.
It's just where they're at.
Yeah.
But then we take it personally at times.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And going back to what you said, where it's like kind of tying with what you said earlier, where it's like you have stuff going on in your life, maybe they have stuff going on in their life,
Yeah.
and maybe it was not the right time.
Exactly.
But it's not a reflection of you not,
Your
being any less
shortcomings.
than.
Yes. And I feel like speaking of you celebrating my born day, I think like as I get older, I don't know about you guys, but it's like, I mean, I think Einstein said it. I could be wrong. You know, I don't have a PhD in physics, but it's like there's someone who said like time is relative, and it's like as you get older, you realize you have a certain amount of time for the day in this simulation. I mean, I believe in timelessness, but you know, like you have a fixed amount of.
That reminds me of this conversation that's like going around right now, and it's really popular in like major cities where you got college graduates and young professionals. You meet people at these events. It's like, hi, my name is, and then after that, the next question is like, what do you do? And like that's always like the second question that comes out, and in a way, it's like this. The person I saw talking about it at first, they were saying like, you notice like that's how people gauge like what level of respect they're gonna give you.
Wow.
And it's like let's change that.
I covered my mouth.
I mean, I feel like we all do it, right?
I was like,
We all do it. It's not like, and I feel like it doesn't come from like that place of what level of respect I'm gonna give you. It's just like naturally, like you want to know, but then you ask like a young guy, like, what do you do? He's like, oh, I'm a professional athlete or I'm an engineer. He's like, what? Yeah. But if he said like, oh, I'm working I do delivery, and this is all easier said than done, right?
No, watch us go to like after this, watch us go to a party, and then someone asks us, what do we do? And we're like, we're human.
I'm living. Do you know what I mean? I'm experiencing life. What am I doing? Yeah. Here.
And they're like, okay.
So that just reminds me of that conversation. Yeah. Like we're not just detaching from these like labels that we pick up in society.
It's not easy though. It's really not. And I feel like society's kind of pushed at least our generations into kind of defining ourselves by our achievements and what schools are we going to and what degrees are we getting, even more so than I think in the past. So now it's like when things don't work out how we want them to, we start to have an identity crisis because it's like in the real world, you don't have like, more like, it's not really tangible, the stuff that, and so it's harder to,
it's all relative.
Yeah, exactly.
As you get older. Yeah.
So,
So that was good. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
And once again, we'll post the screenshots on the screen. So please, check out our YouTube, like, comment, subscribe so you can see it for yourself. And I do appreciate you guys sharing your social media posts.
Thank you.
Okay, so now that we're done with our icebreaker, we're going to put Aanchal on the spot.
Are you ready,
You already know what's going on.
Yes, I do.
So, Aanchal, who are you? On the topic of detaching, like, who is Aanchal?
Without any labels.
Without any labels. Anything. How would you describe yourself?
Well, first of all, I'll say I'm a work in progress.
Yeah,
we all?
We claim that.
Actually, Michelle Obama said this when she released her first book, where I think the title of the book was Becoming. And I think it was Oprah had asked her, why becoming? And I loved what Michelle Obama said. It like really stuck with me. She says, because I'm still becoming Michelle Obama. At no point do you stop becoming who you are. Like we think once we grow up, we've become,
that's it.
Ali or Sunju or Aanchal, but it's like, no, you're constantly learning about yourself.
You're a work in progress.
Yeah, so I know that's a very vague answer. I mean, what else?
You're a student to life.
Yes.
Not to be cliche, but that's the thing.
Yeah. And it's so crazy because this reminds me of a post that you shared on your Instagram where it's like, I don't know who the person was, but I was so admired because what you posted was like, it shows this woman's like life.
I was just thinking that. And she became like a park ranger at 85.
Oh, I saw that post. Yeah.
She said she was like many things, and she's like, life
she
doesn't
sang,
stop.
like she was a singer too, right?
Yeah. She was a mom,
I love that
wife.
Post.
So many different things, and she never stopped exploring
and defining herself and putting herself in a box. So
good.
But besides that, I mean, I think you summed it up perfectly. Like I'm just constantly open to learning about things, learning about self-growth, and just becoming a better person and meeting new people, and through those experiences learning more. I just think there's so much to learn and experience. And I think that's the most succinct way to say who I am.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I could really resonate with that.
Yes.
And on that topic, so what does self-love and self-evolution mean to you?
I feel like self-love is like also an evolving definition. And I feel like there's no one set definition for everyone. I think it varies based on what you need in your life. But for me, it comes down to, I think, really just being your own best friend,
Yes.
Because the longest relationship you'll ever have is with yourself.
Wow.
That's snap.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, but because I feel like having a good, healthy relationship with yourself is really, really important. And sometimes I think people don't prioritize that, or they confuse it with being self-centered. And it's not being self-centered. It's just caring for yourself. But yeah, I think that is the overarching thing. And then for me personally, tying in with that, I think it's showing up for myself and building a relationship of trust where like if I know I commit to something for myself, I will follow through. And then self-care, like just like from like a physical and emotional well-being standpoint.
That's really good. You're like preaching right now because I feel like and that's like something we've been talking about, like being selfish.
Yes.
Well, through the conversation of me and Sunju, like we both feel like we always just show up for everyone else.
Like
now,
mothers.
Recent times, we're trying to like,
Balance.
figure out how to like take care of ourselves, but not like abandoning other people, but like taking care, making sure that we're good.
Yeah. So I think if you like frame it from I am my own best friend and I know myself best, then you might not feel that maybe potential guilt or misgiving that maybe the time you're giving yourself you could be giving to someone else.
It's so crazy because I have a friend, she mentioned this to me when I was going through things in my life where I was like always attaching me to, but life is unpredictable. And I always find myself kind of like going through things because I was always associating me to everything.
An external thing.
Or other people's problems.
Exactly. And then she said this to me and like, I still like, it's still uncomfortable for me, but I'm getting used to it now. Where she was like, you come alone and you leave alone.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's true.
That's like how it's like if you don't believe in yourself, who's gonna believe in you?
Yep.
It just all falls in that same like, affirmations in a way.
Yes.
So it's a good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
and question for you is like, have you ever encountered anything in your life where you realize like you being your own best friend is a necessity and a vital source in your life, and then everything else is like supplemental to that?
Yeah, I think I realized it in a way when I was in middle school. I went through an experience where like I realized the friends I had were not really
nurturing.
Yeah, the greatest people in terms of for me
at that time.
Yeah, and I felt very socially isolated at that point. And someone very close to me had just given me advice that that's okay. Like you need to prioritize yourself in that kind of situation because you're being hurt. And that was like a really pivotal moment for me because to be like 12 or 13 years of age in middle school when like social status is such a big deal.
Yes.
And learning not to define myself based on that was like a really like pivotal moment for me. And that's when I kind of started, I think, I'm thankful that I had that experience and that advice given to me because I think as a teenage girl especially to get that advice and just learning that, you need to look out for yourself and take yourself out of a situation, even if it might seem uncomfortable or painful in another way.
It's like self-preservation, which is good that you have that. Like
at a young age.
Because
I wish someone told me this.
I literally got that. Like, I literally started practicing this this year in my 25th year of life. So hey, better late than never.
But it's so that I think was when it started. And I think for me, at least in my experience, and hopefully other people agree, but whenever I have prioritized myself in that way, it's been like it's the right decision. It's basically what I eventually come to, like, it gets confirmed for me that I did the right thing.
And then it's also like, because you are allowing yourself to be your best self, you're able to show up for people in your life in the best way versus being drained all the time. Exactly. You're trying to, spread yourself thin.
And I feel like, Allison, adding on top of this is like, with AI, I think we spoke about how like it's gonna be more important. How do you build things? How do you create the experience? Because you're competing with AI. So at this point, it's like, are you doing it with love? Are you doing it with full joy?
With passion?
With compassion for yourself and others? And I feel like this goes with friendships, your family relationships, your work that you do. It's like, are you doing it grumpily? Like, you know how there's some people that are like, I mean, I can't name names, but like a lot of movies and TV shows depict people who are like just grumpy, like condescending.
Yeah.
But then it's like, to me, it's like, why are you fostering that? Because at the end of the day now, your label is not really gonna hold value like that, I feel, especially with all this like technology booming. So how are people gonna see you?
Yeah.
Are they gonna remember you as that kind individual, or are they gonna remember you as that person was always grumbling when we were doing a project together, or when I was, you know, hanging out with her?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me think about, and like, side note, part of that AI conversation and like, oh, AI is gonna take away jobs, but it's with AI can't provide that humanistic experience.
Yes.
That's why it's like, I don't think it's gonna come to that point, because like you said, there's compassion, like in everyday roles, we need that as
We
humans.
do.
Yes.
We need that emotional interactions.
Yes.
When we go to doctor's offices, when we check out at the
Yes.
stores,
And they were like smiling at you.
Yes.
and they can help you.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like service industry workers do not get enough due because they can literally make or break your experience, you know? And the fact that they just show up with like
every day
positively is like commendable.
Yes.
I know that just went off on a tangent.
No, we always do. We always do.
Yeah, but that was, you know, said some really insightful things.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, that could lead us now to our game section of the show.
Thank you so much for sharing with us, like, from becoming to showing up for ourselves to being your own best friend. I know we're not strangers, but this game's super fun.
Okay.
How many cards do you think she should pick?
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So pick a card, and I think there's a question there.
Yeah. Once again, this is We're Not Really Strangers for those of you who are looking for discussion games.
Yes.
Oh boy.
What happened?
No, this is like a heavy question. What is something you wouldn't want to change about yourself?
Oh,
Wow.
I like that.
Because here we're talking about work in progress and
Yeah.
evolving. What is something you don't want to change?
That's
What's
going on. We saw a lot of angel numbers. It's
Yeah.
like everything is.
Yeah. Oh boy. Do either of you have an answer to that question?
How about we
Well,
can go around? We'll answer this together. So it's asking you, what is something that you wouldn't change?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have one. I think it took me a while to come to acceptance that I love to give.
Yeah, you're
Like, I just really love to give.
every time I see Cynthia, she has
gives.
something new. I'm just like,
She's
wow.
like Santa Claus.
And I think it's like, whether it's like acts of service or saying something nice to them, or like, I don't know why I feel like when it's like giving, and I always get like this with Allison and Aanchal. But the reason I'm getting emotional is like, you know, there were times people look down on that. They're like, do you not have self-love? Do you not, you know?
Like, they feel like you're overcompensating.
Yeah, or like they're like, oh, look at her, like she, you
Trying
know,
so hard.
yeah, or like, but then I love to. I don't know. It just took me a while to be okay with that because, you know, a lot of people say things about that.
Yeah.
So throw it to Allison. What's one thing
What's
you would
one
keep
thing
about yourself?
I will keep about myself is my kindness.
Yeah.
Just on the same tip as you, like, you know, life has happened to me as it has happened to everybody else. Like, you know, I've been slighted, I've been taken advantage of, whatever the case may be. But one of my favorite, like, takeaways from the Bible is, like, be in the world but not of the world, and don't let the world change you. And even though you know, things happen, I always admire about myself that I've just remained kind to others. Like like there has been time, like, you know, I have been jaded, but I had to work past that and remind myself, like, just because this has happened and this person took advantage of me doesn't mean I
Yeah.
have to walk around with this chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Right.
Hold a grudge.
Yeah, hold
And
a
then see the
grudge.
world a certain way. You
Yeah,
know?
and it's like not, and you know, it's in a way, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna be naive.
Yeah.
But there's a way to not be naive anymore, and have like I would say like a conscious like kindness and
Yes.
not be,
Whoa, conscious kindness. I've
Yeah.
never heard that
you know what I'm
before.
saying? Like, you know,
Conscious kindness.
So-
Yeah. Hashtag conscious kindness.
so that's how I'm like moving in this world, and that's how
Wow.
I just, you know,
And it's
would
so-
never want to change that about myself. That's something I won't change. Aanchal.
Those are very sweet answers. I think for me it's like a two-way thing, but the honesty I have with myself and just the honesty, like my honesty in general. Yeah, because sometimes
You're an honest person.
yeah.
TBT to the restaurant last night.
Right.
The chicken is dry.
Like she was chewing on the chicken.
It was dry though.
It was.
We have
They
to
needed
call a
more
spade
sauce.
a spade. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's something I won't change.
Yeah, no.
Because it's like, I mean, and I struggle with it sometimes because it's easier to be diplomatic. But I think just being honest is much needed in this world, especially I think in today's day and age where things get distorted. So, yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, living
Yeah.
a lie is not it either. Like, you see your friend looking crazy, you're gonna be like, yeah, girl, you look good. Meanwhile, you know, it's a more disservice to have your friend walking around with this thing on her face versus, girl, you need to
Yeah.
take this booger out your nose. Because
Yeah.
you need to.
No, but that's the real friend.
Yeah,
the
that's
real
the-
friend will
yeah.
be like, your eyelash right here, like, let me help you, you know?
Yeah, or just even telling them about situations that you think are not good for them, and like
yeah.
even if they're like maybe happy, but like you can see the bigger picture more objectively.
Speak your truth in a loving way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like
Speak your
people
truth
don't
in a
look out
loving
for each
way.
other sometimes, and like I appreciate when my friends are very honest with me. Like I
Yeah, me
really
too.
appreciate that. Because then I feel like that's what a friendship is that you have reached that level of comfort where you can be open and transparent with each other.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't have to second guess what they're saying.
And it grounds you.
Yes, exactly.
Mm,
Yeah.
That's
so
good.
that's my answer.
I like
Thank
that.
you.
I like that. Thank you for sharing. No, it's not easy.
It's so interesting, Aanchal. It's like, okay, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. To close, we like to ask you, we like to be like past, future, metaverse, but because you mentioned middle school and, you know, a lot of our conversation earlier was about like the past, we'd like to ask you if you could share one wisdom to your younger self, maybe 13, middle school, around that age, what would you say? Or it could be high school, I don't know. But pre.
Yeah.
you go.
Young Aanchal, basically.
Yeah, young Aanchal, Anchalita.
That's cute.
That life won't always work out exactly how you think it will. And that sometimes I think, not always, but I think sometimes we have like a script of how our life is going to go. And, you know, we have these like plans and milestones that by this age you'll have this and this. And I was definitely like that when I was 13, 14,
Me
15.
too.
You know, because like, you know, motivated, go-getter type, you need to like plan your life out. And I think things have not always worked out exactly how I wanted it. And so that's been an adjustment for me. But I think if I had kind of that wisdom back then, that things are just going to be maybe potentially different than how you expected, that learn to be flexible, go with the flow, and that you will always learn from those experiences, no matter if it's good or bad.
God's
You know?
plan. That's God's plan.
Yes.
You gotta trust God's plan.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So, and like what you said earlier, what's meant to be will happen. So I think just trusting the process, trusting that the universe or whatever you believe in is looking out for your best interest, and knowing that where you will get where you need to be, even if maybe the path to get there, you might not have anticipated that.
Yeah.
I think that's just learning to be open-minded
Yeah,
and
appreciate
expect
the journey.
Exactly, and expect the unexpected. So I think that's what I would have told myself when I was younger.
Anchalita, I hope you take those words in. I really appreciate that.
Yes.
So yeah.
That's good. That's, wow, amazing. This was an amazing conversation.
It really was.
This is the first guest back from our little
Like spring break.
from our spring break, and this is very uplifting and
Yes.
insightful. I once again appreciate you for, opening up, especially because this is going to go on the internet.
Yes.
So it's not easy.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys out there really taking this discussion, especially everything that Aanchal has shared, very wise.
Thank you.
You're very in tune. So
Yes.
I know this is gonna help someone out
Like
there.
even the car she pulled.
Yeah,
It's like perfect timing.
Everything
know.
was like in sync today.
Yes,
literally.
yes.
So that's great.
Yes.
And
Oh, maybe one more thing is, Aanchal,
Yeah.
if you could shout anyone out, that you admire or you or you appreciate, anyone in your life that's been helping you go through this life.
I think you already know the answer, Sunju.
Your family?
My mom.
oh
Yeah.
And it was his Mother's Day, so that's sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She's like an amazing person. And she has taught me a lot, supported me a lot, and I'm very blessed that I have someone like her in my life.
That's good.
Yeah. And I'll also add Sunju because we've spent a few days together and
Yeah.
the conversations we've had were really deep and insightful, and she always inspires me.
Aw,
Yeah,
you
so-
do too, Aanchal.
No, but
And
really-
Alison, you do too.
Yes. Like this podcast that you two have created, I think is
Yeah.
such an amazing concept. And I think it's what makes it so beautiful is that it's about with everyday people, I think we tend to always listen to people that have made it or like famous
Yes.
people, and then we define that they seem to have all the answers. But I think if we just stop and have conversations just with people in our lives around us, we can gain just as much wisdom, if not more.
People
You
are
know?
successful if they're not on TV. Success comes in different, like we said
Exactly.
earlier.
Yes.
Success comes in different forms.
Everything
Yes.
has
Story to
different
share.
forms.
Yes,
Yes.
it's like
Story
what you
to
share
share.
with us.
Yes.
But like when you ask like who are you, like why?
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
So, that's good.
Yeah.
Once again, check us out on all platforms that you could stream podcasts. What was that? Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And we also have the visuals on YouTube at Just Flow with Allie,Ally, and SJ. There's different variations out there.
You have to make sure. A-L-L-I-E, L-L-L-I-E.
Please like, comment, and subscribe on all these platforms. And, hit us up on Instagram. Let us know what you think. We would love to hear feedback. And once again, thank you, Aanchal, for being here. And we appreciate
Thank you.
And do you have anything where we can follow you or any upcoming cool
Coming
things?
soon.
Coming soon.
TBA.
Yes.
TBA.
All right. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.